Kayla from Chicken Feed Quilts. Today I'm going to talk to you about Aurifil thread. It's the thread that we stock in our shop. It's one that we've been using for 10 years and we love it. Before I get to that, I'm going to talk about the quilt we have here on the wall. It is using fabric by Fancy That Design House. It's called Boho Haven, and the quilt pattern is called Nellie by GE Designs. So it starts with a layer cake and you use your stripology to make this pattern. There is instructions in the pattern for if you want to use regular rulers instead of the stripology, but we love our stripology rulers, so I highly recommend using the stripology. There are kits available in store or online, and we also have this runner here that Sophia made. This one uses a charm pack, same fabric collection, Boho Haven, and the pattern is called Star Charmer by Creekside Stitches, and there's kits available for that one as well. So back into the Aurifil thread. So Aurifil comes in several different weights and about 270 different colors. So I'm going to go over what the different weights are, what we use them for, and then maybe even explain the spool ends a little bit here. So the finest thread is the 80 weight. So it's just a very, very fine thread. I've got a little cheat sheet here, which I'm going to put a link to in the description. Aurifil has a little cheat sheet on their website that you can download, and it goes through all the uses of each size of thread. So this one is good for like English paper piecing or any time you don't want to see your threads very much at all. It's a very, very fine thread. And it's got a wood spool end. They differentiate between all their spools with different weights with different colors of spools. So the orange spool is the most common. It's the 50 weight thread. It's used for all your regular piecing. It's nice and strong. It's fairly hard to snap. It's a 2-ply thread. I'll go over that more later. So that's the 50 weight. Green is 40 weight. It's a little bit thicker than the 50. I use it for piecing as well. I try not to mix 50 and 40 in one quilt. So if I start with a 40 weight spool, I'll finish with a 40 weight spool. However, you can use 40 or 50 for your piecing. The next heaviest is the 28 weight. It's quite a bit thicker than the 40 weight. It's good for, like, I use it for top stitching in my bags or for embroidery on a quilt that I really want to see and I don't want to hand embroider. You can machine embroider with it, you could hand embroider with it, whatever you like. The 12 weight is quite thick. It's good for cross stitch, it's good for embroidery, it's good for more decorative stitching. And then the 8 weight is quite thick. And it is good for hand embroidery, cross stitch, decorative stitching again. So it is thicker again than the 12 weight. And these are the smaller spools. Depending on the size of spool, you're going to get a different amount of thread. Obviously, because the weight, or it's thicker thread takes up more weight space on a spool. So the 50 weight, you can get 200 meters on a spool. You can definitely get a quilt out of this. I use the smaller spools. Mostly, I have all the colors in the smaller spools, and I use them mostly for binding all my quilts. That's what I want the colors for. All my piecing I do in just a neutral color. And then the 40 weight has 150 meters on a spool, so still quite a bit. The larger spools, 50 weight, 40 weight, orange to green again. The orange has 1,300 meters on it, and the green has 1,000 meters on it. And then there's the cones of thread. And these have, I don't know what it says in here. I use a cone of thread and it lasts me about a year. So that's a lot of quilts because I make, kind of a quilt or two every week. So I use this cone of thread, great value. Every spool has a bunch of numbers on the bottom. And so I'm just going to go through what they mean. So at the very top it says Aurifil Mako ME 50-2. So Aurifil is the brand. Mako is the type of cotton that is used and which region it's from. So it's from the Nile region in Egypt. Then it has the meters, which is 1300 on a 50-weight spool, and GR30, which means that there's 30 grams of thread on the spool. If you wanted to weigh it, then it's got the color number, which is 2800 in this case, which I believe is ice, mint ice, which is a great neutral. And then it also has a 3-digit code, and that 3-digit code is the dye lot. So if you wanted your threads to match exactly, you would want to make sure that you're like from spool to spool to spool, you would want to make sure that it's all from the same dye lot. Obviously they get as close as they can, but you know, with errors and whatever, it's not guaranteed. So that's that. And then it also has made in Italy, 100% cotton Mako thread. So Mako just refers to where in Egypt it is from. Another thing is that to open these larger spools, you can pull the end cap off. So you don't want to grab the thread when you're pulling, obviously. You just want to grab the little end cap, twist it off, and then you'll be able to find the tail of your thread very easily. They always hide it under there. It's always going to be really hard to find the end if you don't take that spool cap off. You're going to be twisting, you're going to be trying to find it. You're usually going to wreck the first 2 rounds of your thread trying to locate it. And the nice thing is you can wrap it around there as I'm talking while doing this. It's not the easiest. And store it so you don't have any loose threads around. So that's a great way to keep it stored. And if you need to bring your color in, you can always just take the spool cap instead of the whole spool if you need a new spool if you run out. So that is all of that. I wanted to mention one more thing. Those are all the colors that it does come in. So quite a good range. We have most of them, not most of them, we have a lot of them in our shop. We've got a very good range of color. We don't have all of them, but we have a good range of pinks and blues and whatever that way. And we can order any of them in. We can order any color of cones in for you if you like. And I think that is everything. If you have any other questions, please let us know. Stop in and see us, whatever you like. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.